Welcome back, everybody. We are minutes away from the grand finals, just making sure the players get enough time to warm up before the game. In the meantime, I'm going to be talking with Chad here, who has been here all 3 days. First of all, Chad, what do you think of the MLG.TV arena? It's the first time we've had CSGO here in Columbus.
It's great. Everything's so professional, and it's nice to be able to be intimate with the players. And
Now, talk to me a little bit about your CS history. How long have you been watching these guys? You seem to be the first one in every day and the last one out. How long have you been a CS player and a CS fan?
Since the very beginning, 1999. I've been playing for a very long time. Got into Go a couple years ago, and it's good to watch these guys battle it out.
Now, do you have a favorite player that you've been watching so far this weekend?
I really like Skadoodle. As an opper, it's enjoyable to see that man's skill.
And what's your prediction in this upcoming matchup? I know you and I were talking about it back when Nihilum was playing Elevate, that we kind of both expect to see Elevate here getting their chance at revenge against CLG.
I think it's going to be 2-1 CLG, and they're going to close it out on Nuke.
They're going to close it out on Nuke. Player to watch from CLG? We got a Hiko yawn over there, I believe.
Really enjoy watching Tarek.
Tarek's the man. All right, well, Chad, thank you so much for coming out here. It's been a pleasure. Get this man a hoodie, Pete. He's been here all 3 days. And big shout out to all of you guys coming out here for Championship Wednesday. The match is just moments away, so let's kick it over to our friends at the analyst desk one more time.
Awesome. Thanks, Puckett. Man, I'm so pumped up for this. The delay is just killing me. These guys are getting warmed up, getting all their settings going here. I'm so pumped up for this. And I know we did a lot of talking about that first map. Let's delve into this map number 2 and what we're going to see from that a little bit here.
I did want to make one quick fact about Cash, just really quick. I want to point out, I made this point yesterday. Since losing to Liquid at Aspen back in January, CLG has not lost this map since. They've been beating teams like C9 and Faceit League. They were able to beat Gamers too in the Katowice qualifiers process. They've won it every time they've played it at this LAN event, including against Elevate, who they're about to play in the upper bracket. It is a very powerful map for them. In the past, it used to be their CT sides that drove it home. This tournament, it's been their T sides that have been on point. And so, yeah, I mean, but Elevate's T sides at this event have been pretty good too. So we'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about map 2.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting here, especially with how well that we saw Elevate shooting and playing earlier in the day. And, I mean, this is going to be a map that if CLG is not able to put together a CT side on it, like we've had them have those struggles on their CT side, I don't think they can seal the deal on this map if they can't get the majority of the rounds right off the bat on CT.
Yeah, like I said, both these teams really strong T-side teams on Dust 2. It used to be in the past this. So when CLG was coming up, you know, in the NA scene throughout the Aspen qualification process. On Dust 2, that was a map they were beating some of the better NA teams on, like iBuyPower, like Torch at the time, and it did come from having really strong CT sides. And this carries over to when they beat Envious at Aspen, or they beat Titan at the Katowice qualifiers. It's because they're able to get those 9+ rounds on the CT side. That was what their bread and butter was. Aggressive pushes on B tons, Tarek pushing up mid sometimes, the way they were able to play long A and do the rotations very well. That was their big point. Now at this event, it has been 13 rounds on T-side against Elevate in the upper bracket, and then vice versa for Elevate. Oh, that Kappa, though. That was a cool Kappa. Gotta love the Kappa. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my mind, it's going to be a big struggle for them. If they can't put together rounds, a majority of rounds on CT side, they're going to have some trouble here with, especially, I mean, I keep saying it and I keep going back to it, and I don't mean to rehash it so much, but I mean, Elevate shooting so extremely well right now. Their T-side's going to be insane.
It's going to come down to that battle between Peter and Skadoodle. They avoided each other a lot yesterday as far as like straight-up duels against one another. I think that could be a bigger factor here. I also like the Desi factor here. He was a really strong player for Elevate. You have to understand that it's hard to use Elevate's prior statistics and results just because it's not the same team.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of misleading to tell you, oh, Elevate, this is how they are on this map, because it's not really Elevate in the sense of personnel. But this map, like Elevate versus CLG, has been the biggest rivalries for like the last 4 or 5 months in the North American scene. And Dust 2 is one of those matches where they have played each other probably 5 or 6 times between ClutchCon and online leagues and things of that nature. And it's been pretty even so far, as apparently Skadoodle is now Desi. They did a face swap. You know those face swaps that people do, like the little memes? We did one for real. like real life.
There we go. Now we're staring at the correct card here for Desi, and just take a quick peek at his performance thus far. I mean, efficacy down around 10, ADR relatively high at 85, and a positive KDR. So what we've been seeing so far as we get into these players and their player cards going towards the finals, they've all had positive KDRs, and it's gotten to where they need to be. If everyone on your team is positive, you're obviously winning the rounds, unless momentous fumbles happen and you can't defuse a bomb if it does go down.
And we were talking about Dust 2. Desi's going to play a big role on that map in map 2. He's the guy on T side that will take those initial engagements at cat and mid from T side. He'll also be the guy on CT side that's one of the main CT rotators between CT spawn and mid and the A bomb side. So he has an important role in this series, especially on Dust 2. On Cash, it was actually kind of crazy because he's used to being an entry fragger on all the teams he's ever played for, but people might have noticed this yesterday, and I did. He was actually playing a lurker role on T-side catch yesterday, simply because since Hiko's the in-game leader now for this team, for this event, he doesn't want to be the lurker and in-game lead. You're not in the information.
Yeah.
You know, your lurker is supposed to give you information as an in-game leader. The only person I can think of that does this is probably Happy from Envious, who plays their lurker role in in-game leads. So, you know, I think Hiko kind of passed that role off on T-side a bit to Desi in certain situations. He was the lurker mid on Cash. So I'm curious to see if he'll stick with that like we saw yesterday, after he'll go back to kind of being an entry fragger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we go from there. And one thing I really want to touch on with you is, when do you think the fatigue aspect of this comes in, especially with Elevate? They've had to play one more match than CLG has. They've already played one best-of-3 today, and they're setting themselves up to have to play 2 more if they want to win this. When do you think that fatigue comes in?
You know, maybe in the second best-of-3 when they get there. I mean, it's not like that first best-of-3 they just played really took a lot out of them. It was very fast. You know, it only lasted 36 rounds. So 6 more rounds in a full map. So, I mean, it wasn't even that long of a series. So I don't think that that really has any effect. I think maybe in the second best-of-3 it might get a little tired for Elevate, but it's also wearing down CLG if they lose the first best-of-3 too. So there's different angles you can take on the mental play, the mind games that come in that situation. As we're taking a look at another big guy from Elevate as far as a rifler goes, that is going to be Roka.
Yeah, coming up there with a 10 efficacy, ADR around 72. Only player that's not exactly positive there. But I mean, he's 0.04 off from being positive. So realistically, that's, well, 100 kills, 104 deaths. So it's only 4 kills that he's lacking to be exactly even there. But his accuracy and headshot percentage are very good.
Yeah, and he's going to be this guy on Cash, who on the CT side is going to be at that A bomb site, playing that quad box area with Rush and trying to hold off those A executes that, you know, CLG is prone to use. Yes, they love to slow play. Yes, they love to do the mid control, but they're also known for their 5-man executes on the A bomb site with the typical smokes you would expect. You know, they do have those fast strats, and Roka will be called on to defend that A bomb site quite a lot with Rush. On T side Cash, he's going to be that guy squeaky door. He's going to be that guy that's always trying to manipulate the A bomb site, pulling people on T side Cash. So definitely on the lookout for that. On Dust 2, he's the B player typically for Elevate on the CT side, and he's the long A stronghold player on the T side. So be on the lookout for all that.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be real interesting here, especially if we can work our way out of Dust 2 and possibly into that nuke. I don't want to get too much into nuke, but one thing to think of here, we talked about Elevate does not want to go on Mirage at all. They don't want to do it, and maps like that, and then they can come out and perform insane on maps that they may not want to play on. Do you think that might factor in here if we do go to nuke? Maybe they don't want to go on nuke at all, but then all of a sudden they can just pull it out?
I mean, I don't know. Elevate's actually usually a pretty good nuke team, but like I said, they're in a different situation. They've rivaled a team like CLG, where the last time they played it was actually in an Alienware event where Elevate was able to get like 12 or 13 rounds from T-side nuke. So, but CLG historically a pretty good nuke team. Look at the Hellraisers come back at Katowice, their wins against, you know, Cloud9 and Face It. They're a really strong CT side team with Tarek on that upper bomb site and Peter outside with the op. But we're looking to look at Rush here. This is a guy we haven't actually talked about a whole lot. He's going to be that other A bomb site player on the CT side for CLG, and he is also one of the main entry fraggers for this team just in general. So he definitely has a big role on the team. He had a slow start to his career. When he played for Monomaniacs back in the day, he received a lot of flack. Same with United 5 at some of the earlier ESEA LAN events. Had a tough time, but ever since ClutchCon, he's looked really, really good on LAN. Obviously, his stats online have been good, as you can see here.
Yeah, I mean, stepping it up there. Again, another player that's just barely under positive there, and that's only because 5 kills. He's just lacking 5 kills, and he's positive. Efficacy at 11.86, and a higher end of the ADR scale there on average. I mean, 84.9. That's nothing to scoff at all.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's the assist master. That's why that damage is so high. But we are about to go live with Map 1 for the grand finals here between Elevate and CLG to see who will be your Season 6 champion. Let's pass it back up to Launders and Helium so they can bring you the action.
All right, thanks, guys. Here we are, the much-anticipated finals here. It's going to be Counterlogic Gaming versus Elevate. A lot of us might have expected this. It was how we kicked it off here at the LAN in this MLG arena. It's how we're going to finish it off. And on the same exact maps, pending maybe we see a third here for the first time, and it's going to be Nuke if we get there.
Man, would love to see Nuke and wouldn't be surprised if we saw it either. And we're already out here into the pistol round, so after a little bit of a delay, it's full action as Peter gets 2 frags for himself on the pushing B. So a very common CT setup, 3 pushing B. Getting out successful as Tarek finds another frag, and Cutler puts one down with his own USP. So Hiko left alone in a 1v5 situation. If there was anyone left on the map to win a 1v5, I think it might be Hiko, but still, it's stacked against him, and he's lurking around looking for a frag on FNS by him doing his part as well. Cleans up and secures a pistol round for CLG, and a great start to this best of 3 for them.
Yeah, we saw them do that the very first time against Elevate here on Cash, although it was the second half when they were CT, they pushed into the B warehouse with 3.
Yeah.
Pretty common stuff, but what is maybe a little uncommon is to just go in there and get 2 headshots just like that. And not even a single member going to go down, and we will see a pretty strong buy here with 3 rifles, a scout, and the ever-powerful MP7 for Hazed, as they will move these terrorists. That's Elevate over towards A main. We've got one in the squeaky. Who else but Roka? I think Dust yesterday even called it the Roka room when he was on the desk.
Yes.
And indeed it has been, but Hazed here only able to get 1 with that submachine gun. Cutler up here by Toxic, actually a little removed from Toxic. Finds 1 with the rifle, pulls out that trusty sidearm.
And unable to finish past the finish line. Past the finish line there to plant the bomb, and that was what they wanted to do on that round. And I think a smoke there in between Fork and Truck would have made that a little bit easier, but fortunately for them, we're able to at least get a frag off of it. And CLG off to an early start. Elevate are going to be back on a save because they spent money on that last round, but didn't manage to get a plant, and it's going to be a tough one. So I wonder what they're going to try to do here. We got no smokes on the board, so there's not much of an eco strat, I think. Hiko does have a flash, though, and I think he wants to use this in a very aggressive manner. The fact that he went back to buy it right after he left spawn means that he's calling something on the fly. A couple people going up on the boost, and we'll see them, I think, wait here as a few players go A main. Looks like a 2-3 split. Hiko's going to flash the A main. They're going to push out. Roka and Desi are going to go over mid late.
Yeah, the bomb is here in A main, so that's where it's gonna be going. Cutler is coming back down the highway, and actually Skadoodle's already out. Push up to the forklift. He'll greet Hazed, who's playing into the site. Cutler gonna peek now, and with his headphones in correctly, look at that, picks up 2 kills. Hazed gonna get another one. That's the fork player down. Pulls out the USP. It's Roka and Desi, the 2 men alive here. Now just 1. Desi for Elevate over out here by the vent.
Not able to find any traction here as Desi gets spotted from our highway player, and Terry takes them down. A perfect round from CLG. 3 rounds on the board, off to a great start. Now they do have some work to do, and the thing is with CLG, we saw them face Nihilum after playing 1 map on Cash, and instead of going for their fakes, like once they were found out, decided to just start hitting things, A and B. And we know that Elevate know how they play, and with that in CLG's mind, will that affect their game style? Are they going to try their complicated fake strats, or just more complex strats in general? Now, we won't get to see much of it here on the CT side, but if they can stop the aggression, they're going to look great, because it was the T sides that they really shone on in this previous maps.
Yeah, already CLG have 3 rounds on CT side. The first time they played Elevate on Cash, they won the map, but they only had 4 rounds in total on CT. So they were super hard to come by. It was a little confusing. Cash, it wasn't playing out how we expect Cash to go, but it looks like maybe some land jitters on day 1, or people were just really antsy to find the entries as terrorists. But either way, Roka actually getting some return spam, takes a bullet to the head through that door, and is down to 31. As once more, terrorists clawing out, looking to keep pressure on middle, and of course towards A.
Now Terex, oh, Hayes goes down on the highway, and that might open up the A site, but there are still 2 players left alive. Cutler's at the forklift, and he gets caught reloading. Hiko with a quick headshot takes him down. Peter trades him out quickly, but so does Roka. Now they have the A site. 2 players left alive on the rotate. It's Terex and FNS. They're not in the best positions. They're completely smoked out. Roka and Desi are low, but if they play these after plants properly, there's almost no chance for win the round. CLG recognizing that, are giving them respect, and are off to a save in a first round on T side. Goes to Elevate.
Yeah, and a really good opportunity to save here. There's a lot of money. Cutler, even though he's dead already, with 6.1K. Tarek alive with a rifle at just under 6, and Finesse with 4,100. So it's going to be a very strong equipment value round. Going to be able to pull up an op again if they want it. Yeah. Peter only able to get, that 1 op kill on A main. He had the opportunity to maybe get a few and hold down the site, but instead, these rotators will just have to go and hide. Yeah,
so one thing to point out, though, is that CLG, when they played their T-side versus the Elevate last time on Cash, they won the pistol round. And so that was a free 3 rounds for them, as they didn't get ecoed. And this time, they got the 3 free rounds on CT side. So that might make a difference if we do see a similar pattern of round wins, if it's a very T-side dominant game. And so a pistol here could be crucial, but a lot to be said here on the second bye in a row from CLG, because if they're not able to seal up this round, we'll have to go on to a save most likely.
Well, if we want to replicate the first half of Cash last time, it'll have to be 11 rounds in a row for Elevate to get 12-3 in favor of Terrorists. I don't know, it's seeming unlikely, or maybe not actually. Look how we saw Elevate play earlier up against Nihilum, taking the 16-0, and then I think it was 16-4 there on the second map. But looking incredible on Mirage. Won't get to see him there again.
Now a Flash's toss for Hayes to cross. It's a very careful play there, as there was a crack in the smoke that he didn't want to walk by. So playing this map very meticulously right now, or CLG, not leaving any loose ends. And this is going to be a matchup that comes down to whoever makes the least amount of mistakes. Roka again in Roka room, looking out, trying to find a frag. The door is open and is clearing the shroud. Doesn't see anything just yet. Might be have the thought that there might be someone up there, but is wrong. And he's got to hear Cutler jumping at the back of the site here. So if he gets mollied out, we might see Cutler put in a bad spot. But that is all going to come down to if they go A. And it looks like some aggression is going to come out. Roka peeking out at an opportune moment. Does find a shot off on Cutler and is going to cross into the site. But the mollies are going to discourage him from doing that. And Heffiness is going to trade spots with him. But the frags come out and Roka gets a kill himself. Tarek gets a frag. Hayes alone left in a 1v3, and that's it.
All right, Elevate able to string them together. So the second round coming out. It's a good doodle. Now he's got an op. He only found 1 that round. And yesterday on Cash, when he was holding it down, it was on CT's side. So I'm actually really looking forward to the second half already, just to see Skadoodle with that. But here we go into round number 6, and not able to preserve any guns. Yeah. CLG on that save. They will go Deagle armor on Hayes, 5-7 armor on Tarek, and Cutler, thinking they got a shot this round, will even pick up a kit in case it comes down to a clutch scenario.
Kit. He doesn't want to be a tit today. And I think CLG are going to be a little bit upset. You know how we always look at the round scores, right? Even if it goes 3-3, you got to remember that Elevate have already won 2 rifle rounds and CLG have not won 1.
Yeah, very good point. Cutler going to get aggressive there. We'll get some information. There's at least 1 person around A. There actually seem to be 2 lurking. And I can only assume it. Oh, Tarek. Get it in there. We'll bring down a rush. Desi, though, finds the trade with that AK. And now we have the 4-on-4. Bomb for the terrorists is still way back in spawn, so they will have to go and find it. Roka to find Peter there with another nice AK headshot.
Now the CTs are spread out here in a 1-on-1. FNS gets a long range with a CZ there. Takes the head off of Desi, and now working towards A, leaves Hayes in kind of a 1-on-3 situation. Actually, a crossfire appears as Cutler bursts into the site. Roka stays inside of the squeaky door, and Cutler is going to be the last man left in the site with low HP. Does not find a frag. FNS has to make a decision here on whether or not he wants to save this AK and Molly.
Yeah, I mean, no armor here. It's going to be very, very tough going 1v3. Yes, Hiko and Roka are a little low, but Skadoodle with the op, I can only assume he's up. Now, he wasn't in quad. Looks like he's playing on either below Toxic or on the catwalk. Can't quite tell from the map. Hiko, though, in a very good position to take Finesse down, as he's going to push through.
It's kind of crazy how Roka can just go door every round, right, and get exploited. I mean, you saw Cutler, like, I think have pressure Oh, not able to save that gun. That would have been a big save for him. And he took a risk there by going for a frag. I don't think he should have done it because, you know, he could have come away with a frag, but, you know, even though you have 2 hands in Counter-Strike, you can't pick up 2 AKs, so.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
No akimbo AKs.
No akimbo AKs, yeah. With Roka constantly going door, and they know he's going to do it, should they answer back with some aggression? I feel like they should.
Yeah, just get a pop flash in there, push in, and play it there as a CT. But then you got to say, like, if you are going to push in, are you still confident you can out-aim him? And look at that, aggressive peek out middle. Skadoodle will bring down Hazed, so he's out mid, and now Desi going over the boost. There is a player sandbags. Oh, no, that's on the other side over in Checker. So mid and now under the control of Elevate, and we heard Hiko talk about it on maps. Like, if you control mid, you force your opponent to go down the extremities, and, well, one of those extremities is Roka Room. Skadoodle with another off, this one on Finesse. Peter's got one of his own. Can he answer back? Ooh, some damage coming through the wall. Looks like that could be the nade, and it is. It'll take down Tarek near the default plant area. Cutler.
He is just by himself. And he knows Roka's really hurt. In this room, but Skadoodle gets a very important frag.
3rd on the round, too.
Oh, my God. Huge for his team. Oh, unfortunately, unable to hit that jumping shot. And now Peter has the option to save once again in a 1-on-4. It's really looking like Elevate have control of this map so far, and I think he did a little bit of damage there to Skadoodle, but unfortunately is unable to clean up the trade. And this is a very important save. They know where he is. He has the opportunity to do a lot of damage. He doesn't have nades, but at the same time, he doesn't have any stealth, so it would have been good for him to do that. Or to have that, and Peter finds the first frag. Is he going to find a second one? Goes for the no-scope, but gets punished for it as Desi takes him down. 4 rounds on the board for Elevate, and they look like they're in control so far.
Yeah, not a lot to aim at on that last no-scope as he was on the low ground. You can really just see his chest, the torso basically. So it doesn't connect, and now Elevate stringing quite a few rounds together. That's actually going to be 4. So CLG got the 3 in a row. You made up the very good point there that it's been more rifle rounds to Elevate. CLG only survived the anti-ecos and grabbing the pistol.
Yeah, and that's always the trouble with your economy on CT side, as guns can get very expensive very quickly, and you can find yourself in a position to be on a save every other round, and that's what we're seeing from CLG. And again, looking back at this pistol, it's starting to become apparent that it might be very important. A double nade there, thinking he was going to play close. Actually doesn't do as much damage as he needs to, but Hayes gets a nice P250 headshot after Roka finds a kill for himself, and looking for the 1D against Terra, but doesn't find it. And it looks like a solid round so far from Elevate.
Well, even though it's just an eco round here for CLG, they do take an aggressive stance towards the squeaky room, and they find the trade there on Roka, unfortunately. Maybe if you find that trade in a rifle round, you have a chance, but now it's just Finesse. Last one up once more. I can't get much for it. Desi will bring him down, and now 5 in a row here for Elevate.
Again, the economy looking strong here for Elevate. 13 grand on Skadoodle, and he still has his op to show for it, so we'll not have to rebuy a single weapon. On that last round, 1 player did die, though, and I don't know what their plan is going to be. I think we need to take a closer look at CLG CT setups and find the hole in the infrastructure, as it seems like they're getting exploited a little bit at mid.
Yeah, and if you check out the scoreboard, actually, this is 4v5, and Elevate have 5 rounds. Rush hasn't even got a kill or an assist.
Yeah, his presence alone, man.
That's absolutely insane.
Finally posting Tarek up in events. I like this. They haven't done this before, and this is going to allow them to leave mid a little bit more wide open. They have a second man, Peter, here watching the boost, and him opping it could be very useful. Is also going to take an opportunity to spot mid in case he crosses back, and our player in vents has to focus on Checker. But with this setup, should feel a little bit more secure. The issue, though, is that with Elevate working towards A and are able to get a lot of that early damage off, might find their way into the site one more round. Roka here again in his room.
All right, Hazed up on the sight box. It could maybe make the difference, or no. Hiko will just find him first with a nice one-tap. Molly out onto the fence quad area. Not actually forcing anyone to move the response, Molly, but once again through the door. He took damage earlier in the round through the door, that time getting dinked. Can Tarek return the damage through a smoke? Well, not so far, but Finesse and Cutler do find 2, and that gives CLG the man advantage for the first time in a while. Skadoodle trying to break his way out of this one. Tarek gonna get another. That brings down Hiko. And now CT's swarming the site, and we've even got Finesse moving around on the lurk here. Rush finding his first of the game, but that's it. Tarek silences him, and now over the toxic barrels, Skadoodle can't land the shot, and Tarek gets him with the silence USP.
That's right, a very nice round from CLG. It looked grim for a second as Hayes just got shot right off the boost there. No problem, says Hiko. And a recovery from a 4v5 situation into a 4v2 in favor of CLG. Looked really good. I'm not exactly sure how that worked out so well for them. Once that smoke dissipated, the trades came out, and Roka even dinked a player in the side. I honestly thought it was over for them. So very good on them to secure a round on the CT side. That's the first rifle round of the game for them. And they have managed to pick up another off, that Skadoodles, and they're going to put it on Tarek, who's known to hybrid for CLG, so I wonder if that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, it's going to change the dynamic of the CT side definitely a little bit. And right now CLG have already tied their CT rounds for the first CLG Elevate best of 3, which is 4. Cutler with aggressive boost over will bring down Desi, and that's going to give Finesse this vent control. But he will actually opt to drop into Checker, as Hayes will find Roka too. So now 5 on 3.
Yeah, Skadoodle here in the mid warehouse, aware that a player was playing events last round, or aware that it's a very common place to play in, and Cutler is spotting the mid, is not going to find any action just yet, even though Elevate players are very nearby. He can smell them, but he cannot see them, and Hiko lurking over towards B makes me think that they want to actually end up at that site, but because they've been going A so much, CLG are not going to leave their attention away from that site, and that's going to work out pretty well for them maybe.
Yeah, and that's when the mind games come into effect, right? Elevate has just been barraging into A every single round, so now they got the 2 sites to cover with all 5. They'll put 3 into A, and now if Elevate were to strike at B, they'd have man advantage, but instead it'll be Skadoodle coming over to Highway. He'll take down Tarek, and now it's 2. Oh, are they going for the fake here? Looks like the bomb. Oh my gosh, up the ladder. He brings down Hayes. Meanwhile, though, on the other side of the map, the bomb is dropped. Rush couldn't hold on to it as he falls. Now Hiko trying to make up for it. Dealing with the Checker player, but Peter in the site opts him down, and now Skadoodle, 2 incredible op shots, but just proving, you know, kills don't win you the rounds. It's that team play, and they fall a little flat there. And let's see how CLG feel as they find their feet. We're going into a Turtle Beach team chat for round 11.
I need a drop for sure.
I'll drop one.
Okay, we're good.
Keep it up, boys.
The Cutler doesn't have a gun.
You want to pop flash me? Dropped an AK. You want to pop flash?
One.
You want to pop flash me, amen? Yeah, someone can. Go ahead.
You're lone B.
What are we doing today?
Pop flash me, amen, when I call it.
Okay.
Or when I get close, when I get close. Flash?
Flashing now.
I have control.
Flash
Yeah, I'm gonna play amen with them, okay?
Nice. Looking it. Nice. They're gonna walk into B, Pete. I promise you, they're gonna walk into B.
I left mid, I left.
Okay, I got it. Main. They're gonna walk into B, just stop it from spawn.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
How many?
I'm gonna leave you, Pete. Just stay here.
Door.
Think them door. Okay, you're alone.
Watch the mid.
You just think door.
Okay. They could go back B.
I'm hiding quad. They smoked. Spawn.
I'm mollied in.
They're gonna go A, it seems. What's
They could go
door
up
still?
fork. They could go up fork. I'm flashing in front of red.
Come out door.
Flashing in front of red.
Nice
Yeah,
color.
one fork. It's A. It's one out, quads.
Nice
Top
flash.
two. Fork maybe.
Loading.
Dead.
Nice.
Nice, good fucking hold.
Good shit.
I have another op, Tarek. I have another op.
Okay.
Don't buy anything.
I can drop you if you need it. I'll just buy extra so I can get nades. Buy select.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The battle cry we hear there is CLG going to pick up that 6th round. Now getting 3 in a row, and I was a little worried. We saw Rush sneak out to Forklift, and they were unaware of him being there for like 20 seconds. And then finally the call comes in like, hey, one of them might have got forked. They get a nice, beautiful flash. It allows Cutler to get in there and get a few kills, and they lock it down here. And that's going to put Elevate on a bit of a force.
Skadoodle able to typically find an op duel that is favorable for him, but Tarek holding an angle finds the better of Desi, who is on some sort of a light buy, it feels like, as Hiko managing to only buy a Tech 9 on this round. And everybody low on the money, so a couple of rifles means they're going to have to find a frag early, and Roka being so consistent at the A site, doing plenty of damage every round, actually finishing at a kill here. And Skadoodle looking at the vent to find a frag. Has not found one just yet, and one rocks right by his crosshair. That's FNS. He goes down. Suddenly, it's a 3-on-4 situation. Mid control is teased because they know vent is open. They have the option to split B. The mid smokes are out. They could crush B main. They could push through these smokes, and it looks like because of our 6-man that they want to actually hit it. And with a 3-player setup, they know that there's probably going to be a focus over towards A, and if not, it's going to be a 1-1-1. Pressure on Tarek here.
And it is Tarek and B with just an op. Although Terror is taking it slow and calculated. Time getting low, only 30 seconds now, 25 on the clock. Roka moves out back towards A. Feels like he's just pulled towards this bomb site. And now Hiko and A main gonna fight with Hayes. So they know there's a player at fence. Peter now gonna expose himself over here. He is able to get Roka though. Can he get the one crossing? No! Bomb into the site, that was Rush. He'll find Hayes. Skadoodle gonna bring down Peter. A site open, and now Tarek on this rotation coming up truck side. It's gonna be very, very hard. Would like to maybe find some kills here. And yeah, X-ray toggled off there, so you realize we cannot actually see him. Looks like Rush was nestled back in there in the default spot.
Yeah, Terry able to find a frag for free, and even though a player peeks him, he is unable to get that kill. Now, is in an awkward situation where he wants to try to live, and at the same time is looking for some hits, but cannot find any with this op right now in a really tight spot. Might get flanked at any moment, is aware of it, turn around, gets a nasty frag on his Skadoodle. Puts him to sleep, no problem, but at the end of the day, that's a round on the board for Elevate and a 3v5 nonetheless.
Yeah, let's see how they feel. We're going to go Turtle Beach team chat this time with Elevate.
Dude, I'm going to go B again.
Roka needs to drop, guys, right?
Yeah, but no one has enough to buy.
Yeah.
I'll just go. No problem.
Somebody get a molly.
Yeah, sometimes you need the money, just full armor, full nades, tech 9, and then pick up some guys' gun.
They smoke mid. Might be safe.
Checker.
I heard 5-7s.
Nade it. Oh, fuck.
Could be in mid. I'm holding a boost right now.
I'm holding it from the white truck. We should be good.
Oh, dude. I think from sight.
I'm not gonna go any main, but I'm gonna peek at them. They smoked him.
There's 2 side, I think, in A. Yeah, there's 2 A side.
Right here. 2 here at B.
Let's do mid control again, man.
Okay, boost up. Boost me up.
Yeah, I have a smoke. Yeah, sure.
I'll smoke right side, you smoke left.
Perfect. Yeah? Just wait 1 second.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Them, let me smoke it. All right, smoking left.
I'm out. Boost clear.
I'm gonna go back towards B with Ska.
I'm smoking Z out.
This is actually bad. We should actually go towards highway again.
Okay.
Like, they're gonna be stacked B.
One B.
Got him B.
One in sight.
There's another one A side, another one A side, another one A side.
Go away.
B side, B side, one B side.
Default.
Nice, one B side rotating.
Oh shit.
25 seconds, 25 seconds.
We're good. Just don't panic right now. We're good.
3 on 2, guys. Roka, play super safe.
I'm lit, I'm quad.
We're good. Take it down.
Just double quad.
Double quad.
No boost.
Okay.
Just double quad and I'm gonna hide and bait you.
Oh yeah, I'll peek first.
Make sure you peek first.
One truck.
One Z-box. Still watch your side.
It's fine, he's not gonna be up yet.
You see anything?
No, I didn't see him.
2 up.
Truck's clean. Highway clean.
Saving the op, probably.
Yeah, my
Did they have an op?
Yeah. Oh, we need to live. Our teammate has low money.
Go,
Run, Roka, run.
You're so dead, Roka.
Roka's fucked.
I know where you can
I
go.
take 3 damage right here. I'm dead. No!
That sucks.
If I got like 2 feet away, I would have been alive.
Me for the longest time.
All right, nice round there, and it looks like, I think it was, to me, it was Skadoodle kind of calling the shots there a little bit on that round, and then near the end, it was Hiko keeping them calm and collected, and then, of course, Roka at the end with the calculations. He knew he was a gunner.
Yeah, just 1 damage off of surviving, I think, was Roka. And Hiko there had a great read. Obviously, the 3-stack towards B was apparently known to him somehow with his mind for the game.
Skadoodle doesn't know he's
over
burning!
the boost. Burning in the molly, down to 19 HP and gets a frag off of it. When you're scoped in, it can be so hard to pay attention to anything else. And Cutler, left alone in the site, is going to have to go up against players who are looking to frag out. And Roka, before it even seemed like he peaked, was able to take his head off. Same for Tarek, and these are some brutal shots right now. Peter and FNS, 2 players alive. And going back to that last round, it was a 2v3 situation. Roka was extremely low, even though they didn't know it because Cutler dinked him through the door. But they didn't go for the retake, and I'm shocked because FNS had a kit, and they both had guns, and they both had full HP.
Yeah, and I liked Roka early on. He got dinked through that door, and he complains about it like he even has the right, how many people he's killed through that. But there you have it.
He's spoiled at that door.
Seriously. So, going to save one more time here. Peter trying to bring that op through. Finesse with some decent nades, kit armor, and a CZ. And he'll actually get one, so... Oh, there is a terrace nearby. CZ actually is still quite good at range. Peter's going to bring down Hiko. And they might get one more kill here. Close. Peter, beautiful shot. Can he peek out once more? He's not going to be aggressive. He really needs to keep that up. And now we're into the last round of the first half with the score line. I mean, it's going to be either 8-7 or 9-6, so actually looking like cash.
Yeah, save that round in your heads. It could be a critical round that Peter actually hung onto that op if they're able to seal this one up, because it's so tight. When we go into the second half and get towards the end of the game, you might look back at that round as being very important, and we're going to find out how much work he's going to be able to do with the op right here. He's going to push into A-main aggressively and look for a frag, but they're fully aware of what the smoke does, and that means Peter's going to try to fall off. Roka might capitalize on a frag, but Desi and Rush getting 2 frags of their own, open up the site all by themselves, and they're just going to run the bomb B. It's a site worth taking. Now Peter looking for a frag on the squeaky door is not going to find it. A no-scope through the door is not going to do any damage to Roka, and this is another round locked up for Elevate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's great for Elevate too, because every round that Roka's in squeaky, like, he's there when they go A, and he's also there when they fake it and go B. So he's like, seeing Roka at the squeaky door doesn't really let you read into anything at all.
Yeah,
and he's almost always either doing damage or killing someone from that position, and that makes it easy for him. So last round of the half does appear to be going to Elevate. Peter, though, not even able to put on a show with that op. And the first half, it's going to be 9-6 in favor of the Terrorist side. Elevate.
Extremely well played. We're seeing some great CS right now. It's not as one-sided on T side as we saw last time. Even though Elevate were able to get 9 rounds, there was still, 3 additional rifle. But then again, if we look at it from the perspective that CLG won a pistol and didn't get eco'd, they actually only had 3 rifle rounds to their name once again. So who knows how lopsided that score could have been on T side, and that might allude to the fact that we might see a dominant CT side, or T side, excuse me, from CLG as well to answer back to this.
Yeah, well, CLG had the pistol on CT side, so if they can replicate that performance on pistol round, find that T pistol, get those 2 afterwards, then suddenly you're tied up just like that. You're going to have quite a battle. And compared to that match on Cash yesterday where there was a total of 7 CT rounds, now we've already got 6.
Yeah.
Elevate's in the lead instead of having to mount a massive comeback.
Yes.
And even a quick halftime, players are ready to go. So let's get into it. Pistol round, map 1, Cash. Oh, actually, never mind. Quick pause. So back to us for a little bit here.
Yeah, so again, it's going to be a lot of pressure on the pistol round for both teams. They recognize, I think, so far that these T-side rounds are much easier to come by. They're both able to exploit both sites with their entries, and I think that's what they're a little bit reliant on. I'm sure that CLG are unhappy about the fact that they weren't able to secure more CT rounds with all the game tape they have, but I think we're back into it, so we should start to look at these players once again. Now, this pistol round is going to be a hard hit B. Pressure on Hiko to get a headshot for his team, and he can't do it. That's a free side open. He planned to solo it, but couldn't do it, and now Skadoodle, without a smoke to cross, is going to look and find a nice, easy headshot, but peeking him and unpeeking him is Hayes, and holding this sunroom, and is FNS. Tarek, it gets a kill for his team, and Skadoodle finds one for himself, but Cutler easily trades, which he's so known for doing, and Roka in a 1-on-4 situation is looking for the hardest retake of his life. Wants this pistol round so badly, is going to put pressure on, but is not able to find a frag just yet. And with time ticking down, he finds a frag with the quickest peek, but no defuse kit means it's probably going to be a pistol round here for CLG. Is going to look to at least save his armor, and goes down to Peter. A round locked up for CLG.
Yeah, and it is pretty common to have, like we've seen on the pistol round, either 2 or 3 at B initially, but they just go on the fact that it's Hiko that likes to be the Lone Ranger over there in the B site. He was kind of rusty there on day 1, but also we talked about didn't have his mouse, and they have been getting better and better. But I think they exploited him right there, and let's see if CLG can get these next 2.
Yeah, again, we saw CLG on their T sides, instead of going for complicated splits, or that, not complicated splits, but that very common A split. Once that was read by Nihilum, I think they have receded into doing more simple strats where they rely on entries, and wow, Desi gets a quick 5-7 headshot after burning in a molly on Cutler. He's got to be upset about that one. Now, Hiko is pushing the B main to look for information, but someone is wisely watching the flank, and that's FNS. Gets a quick little headshot on the Skadoodle.
Yeah, was able to pick up that scout, but couldn't land the P250 headshots afterwards. So Finesse will bring him down. It's now 4-on-2. See if Roka and Rush can maybe get a crazy round on Cash, similar to what we saw.
Yeah, and if we don't see any egos, it's going to get rough, right?
Yeah.
The fact that CLG won 2 pistol rounds and are here on the T side, which they seem to do very well on, It might be a map one for them, but at the same time, Elevate have had just as much time to prepare a better CT side, so maybe their results will be better.
Well, we'll have round 18 to look at as a very key round because the team that gets first 3 rounds on both halves generally has a very high win percentage.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe they kind of showed they were struggling on the rifle rounds a little bit, at least in the start of the first half. Got a few more near the end, but it'll just be another save. This time of 5.7s and armor, just to have a bit better of a shot there in that key round 18.
Yeah, such a close matchup though here at MLG Ohio, and these two teams have fought their way here. CLG was 2-0 in everyone, but get into OT with both Elevate and Nihilum in some very hard-fought series. And I think that after all is said and done, we're seeing one of the closest score lines that we have all tournament. I think the only other close one was yesterday, and that just means that teams are starting to learn how to play against each other. I think are a little bit more comfortable, and this issue with Hiko not having had as much experience with Elevate starting to not be such a problem, as his team seems to be in pretty good spirits, as we've seen from the comms.
All right, Cutler gets one, but it's traded out by Roka. They will push aggressive through Squeaky, and well, Roka gonna fall to Tarek, so now 4 on 3, and it's the guys with pistols and no armor surviving here. Hayes gonna get one with the Tech 9. That was Desi. Shot in the back there is Hiko. And Skadoodle, he actually will find Hayes there from the truck, but Finesse gonna get him with the Galil at distance, and there it is, tied up 9-9, one of the most even games we've had so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely pretty amazing. And again, the 2 pistols on CLG mean that because they were able to survive getting ecoed, they were looking at an even scoreline on a map that has been drastically T-sided throughout this tournament, especially for both of these teams. So coming into this first rifle round, a lot to be said. Now, Skadoodle was a beast yesterday on CT side cash. We'll see if he can bring that heat again today.
Yeah, it's actually Desi playing that sandbag location right now, which is where Skadoodle got it done from. Skadoodle himself is over actually in B this time, so helping lock that down with 2 people, and Roka gonna find 1.
Tarek just ran into A through the smoke, and Roka had successfully done the Shroud boost, the running Shroud boost, the coveted running Shroud boost, and found a frag onto him really easily. I'm not sure what the plan was with him just running in like that. That seemed a little bit risky, but definitely got punished for it quickly.
Maybe just hoping for the entry. And speaking of the running boost, we saw Luminosity pull that off yesterday a couple times.
Yeah.
I think they did it twice in their match. It was pretty awesome to look at.
So with the shift of focus over towards B, the vents are trying to be taken, and with no one in checker, that is what offers you up to a B split, right? The B main and the checkers is what you want to have control of. But with Skadoodle sitting here looking for a frag, takes a shot. They know he's alive now, and he does return one to Peter. Almost goes for a second. FNS dinks him down to low HP and is kind of stuck in an awkward position and can't find a second frag. Gets shot down by FNS with great peaks. A 2v3 situation. They might want to try to molly so they can cross, but this means they have to take care of upper as well. A molly for that spot as well, and now the bomb is going to go down. The issue is that they don't have the greatest spots to defend from. FNS left on a 1-on-3, makes it a 1-on-2. Both players are very low. He's going to plant the bomb. Titan in the back of the site. They're going to run up early for the trade, and they do find it. Rush cleans them up.
Yeah, they were too close. He'll get the extra money coming in for the plant, but there was really no hope unless he could have maybe tried to fake again. I didn't quite catch the clock how low it was getting, but I mean, time definitely running out on that round as Desi and Rush survive that one. And that's going to be 10 now for Elevate, so getting their first CT round, and once again proving that when it comes to the rifle rounds, they have been a little bit stronger here.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely the first rifle on the board that's going to give the confidence to Elevate. It won't necessarily shake the confidence of CLG as they're looking so far like they're playing pretty well, and now with 5 rifles on the board, they won't have that op option. I'm not sure that they need it. They might favor this mobility, and they're going for a really early mid-take here up against 2 players. Now, they might try to boost vents to counter this, but we'll see if that matters as the control is already theirs.
Oh, what a nade, and Desi will bring down Peter. Skadoodle started this round off at the sandbags with his op, so I thought it was going to be a bloodbath over there as CLG started things off in mid. He gets smoked out, though, and falls off back here watching Z. If Cutler If he goes through the vents, he should be okay, but if he decides to walk out over that rooftop, probably going to be shut down. Now it's going to be Cutler moving into Checker. There is a player. It's Desi here behind the box. He's been shooting people in the back all day, and he will get Cutler. They don't even think about checking it. He gets 2. Can he find 3? He does. There's one more there. It's Hazed. If Desi wants to bring in the 4K, he'll go wide and over the molly with the headshot. He'll find that 4K, and there it is. The high five over to the side.
Yeah, amazing from Desi there, getting 3 frags from that checker box. That's definitely a round that we wanted to see from him, and that's a solid hold on the back of CLG, getting that early mid control for free, and then having all the options in the world opting to go B, but getting shut down. I think the setups on the sides of the CT make a lot more sense now. Instead of going for that checker control, which they didn't do last time, they decided to do it this time, and that's what caught him by surprise.
Yeah, Desi has just been a monster today.
Yeah.
I mean, they did pretty much win. I mean, what, 32-4 was their first match today. Desi top frag in almost all of them. But look at this, 5 smokes coming in to this bomb site. Roka at the fence, full blind. Everybody is blind. Who knows what is going on? Roka starting to see things, feels the bullets.
2 entries already out.
Tech-9s and CLG. Wow, look at that, man. Talk about utter confusion, and I feel like utter confusion when you've got a Tech-9, that's probably going to favor you.
Yeah, I don't know. He got so blind in the back of the site there, tried to make his way through the smoke. I think his one goal was to try and stay alive, but couldn't do it. And after a few quick entries from CLG, they went in eco and to steal back the economy, to grab an op off of that. Look at them. All of them have no armor, and they found an M4, an AK, no, 2 M4s and an AKF, and that's the only one with just a Tech-9, but we'll have no problem buying next round.
This still means, though, that technically CLG have not done well on the rifle rounds. They had 2 of them there, but the Tech-9s, the smokes, and the flashes is what really gets them into that A site to find this one. So now back within 1, and I think that's, what, 4th round of the half for them? Yes, it is 2 over to Elevate, and how are the CTs doing with their money? They've got the AK armor on Desi and not much else.
If the trades go back and forth like this, I think it'll favor CLG, as the economy for Elevate will become shakier and shakier, and I think the confidence for CLG will go higher and higher because they're so used to doing well on the T side. But these CT setups, I think Elevate have a little bit more ironed out, and they're looking like they're not just winning rounds, you know, off the back of 2v2s and 1v1s or individual skill, but off the back of really competent setups. And that means they're able to do it while keeping many players alive.
Skadoodle finds a 1 dig there onto Cutler. That was a player coming out of the mid warehouse, I do believe, because it's Peter up on the boost. Skadoodle able to fall back with 13 HP. And there's Desi, man. Like, how easy is it to kill people when no one is looking at you? Like, Desi is always to the side or behind somebody.
Finds the great spray there on the Peter off the boost. And in a 3v5, where Elevator actually ecoing the man advantage, goes to Elevate. Now, the only damage is done to Hiko,
it's so lucky
or to
right
Skadoodle,
there.
and wow, as he pulls out a nade. Knows one is advanced, and Desi looks right up at his face and takes it off. Now has this still vent control, spots a flip, but knows he has a player in B to save him. Now Hayes with 1 HP is here fighting. Tarek is looking for a kill on the boost, or over by White Box and doesn't find it. Now Hayes left alive with 1 HP, and a Dream is going up against 4 players.
Well, this would be the clutch of the century right here. 1 HP. Moving in, very, very silent. He actually might be able to catch up 1, but no. Before he gets into the site to surprise someone, Skadoodle gets in from up top with that deagle. And that'll put Elevate now starting to make a small little gap here. That's 2 rounds. It's 12-10.
Yeah, once again, Elevate. This is 2 teams in a row that have not spent any money or decided to save and maybe think about the round to come, win it, and have a booming economy because of it. Now, because CLG were able to eco themselves, are able to buy to follow up, but are probably unhappy about the fact that Elevate are already up to 12 rounds. And again, if they continue trading and Elevator are able to keep this 2-round buffer, they will end up with a 16-14 scoreline. So that's going to be bad news for CLG. Roka with a flash into A-main, gets punished for it as Tarek takes his head off of that push.
Yeah, getting a bit aggressive there, but, you know, trying to keep CLG on their toes. Although Roka is down at the start of this round. Let's see what Skadoodle can do. Can maybe bring it back for them. Peter trying to counter-op, so we could maybe even see the op battle here at A. Rush now up in the site. Skadoodle
managing to maintain the man advantage here. Our CLG, rush left in Cutler's position, is full blind in the site. Will they find the kill before you can see again? And yes, Cutler does find him, but with the quick return frag, it's Skadoodle ops him on the spot, and Peter winning a duel for the first time on this map versus Skadoodle is able to get the kill now. Desi and Hiko left in a 2v4 situation, is gonna find the short peek onto Peter. Easily takes him down, and that means the last players are left in the site, but actually there's a lurker down at mid. He's gonna start taking pot shots in the back, and Hayes and FNS with the perfect crossfire clean up that round and are one away from evening it up.
It looks like Tarek, I think, yeah, was able to, or someone preserves the op that round. FNS has it now. Back over to Peter, though, of course, and checking out Elevate CT side. Money getting a little bit tight. A couple people rather low. Skadoodle, for instance. Oh, someone will buy him an op, though. So he's going full glass cannon. He's got an op and no armor, no nades, nothing. The rest of his team, we got 3 M4s and a FAMAS here. So
how do we feel about that?
I mean, if it works, it's going to be great. It's kept the pressure up. You got your 2-round lead back. Skadoodle, oh, missing. Thought he maybe took out a kneecap, but not quite. But obviously, if this fails, you're going to be saving once, maybe even twice now. Yeah. And then you give up your lead at that point.
Again, the great thing about having the op is that you can decide to maybe leave someone solo and cut that part of the map off, and that's what they want to do. But there is still another player supporting him, and maybe that's because he doesn't have that armor. But with a focus over towards A, it's not necessarily a great lead, but with one person in Squeaky, the option is there for them to split it, and players walking towards A main means that this might be the wrong take, but again, a player from White Truck has rotated off to the Z as someone in mid has got his attention. And again, rush in the back of the site, or actually with another player in the back of the site, is going to have some pressure from the highway. And Peter waiting for a pick here.
The pinch is going to be quick, though, from Elevate. It's Skadoodle and Desi pushing all the way through B as we see the opening at A. There's actually a TK there. Finesse going to bring down Cutler. Now that just leaves Peter all by himself. Hiko over on the truck. Bomb down here in the site. Peter actually more in the site than the CTs as he just walks up and takes down Hiko with that no scope. Now 2-on-1, but no, cannot cross Skadoodle. Not much of a duel since he had either the knife or the bomb out, but still great reactions that we come to expect from a player like Skadoodle.
Yeah, always knowing where to wait is the very smart Skadoodle, and that means that Elevate once again secure a lead when it could have been 12-12, are managing to stay just a little bit ahead of the pack, and that's a 13th round on the board. Again, that means CLG are back on a save, and this game is tight as hell, man.
Indeed. Well, we've had a lot of close finishes, and you know, the game's going to overtime, but nothing has been this close throughout. It's always been mounted by massive comebacks. I think we had maybe one 8-6 or 9, 8-7 or 9-6 half come out. But here we go. Desi's hearing those flashes, expecting to push through the smoke, sprays down, does only get one. Hugo spraying in 2, finds one more. Now Skadoodle up there. MB having an opt down Peter. Will opt down Finesse as well. That leaves Cutler all by himself, and Skadoodle finding that 3K. They've been smart enough not to challenge him if he's at the sandbags when they boost over mid, but Skadoodle has been finding them regardless, and now Elevator only 2 rounds away from taking map 1, which we should mention this was CLG's pick.
Yeah, this was CLG's pick, and they're actually looking to win this map right here and now as CLG are on a totally light buy. No flashes in the hands of Tarek or Cutler. Hayes with only one. FNS the only one with full nades. And that means they're going to have some sort of a smoke trap, but they don't have much to fake with. And maybe that's something that we need to see from them in this half.
All right, Skadoodle going to get one there now, Hiko, but Hayes and Tarek just like that will bring down those B players. Site completely open now. Skadoodle going to rotate over. And this time he doesn't have a team in the site backing him up, so it's going to be harder to get these shots. Does molly out the back site where it is pretty common to plant, hoping to maybe force the plant to stop, but it was not there. Was that just the default? And Roka just going through with the pre-fire, cannot find the second. Peter will stop him in his tracks. Hayes on top of the site box, and that leaves Peter now by himself trying to defend this, working around that smoke. Skadoodle just took down Hayes, and there it is, Rush. And they both got kits, so that's Elevate now moving on to match point here.
Match point. Oh my God, they cleaned that up. And that was an excellent retake for them in a 3v3. Obviously, Roka pushing through that fence, that was nuts. Got that headshot on a player he could not even see. Had the awareness that Tarek got boosted up there. It was a beautiful play from him. And even though he got traded out instantly, the 2v2 was all they needed as Skadoodle managed to clean up that last frag, I believe. And now Elevate knocking on the door of winning the first map here. And even though they're going to have to win 2 best-of-3s in a row, you know, you take it round by round, map by map, and all of a sudden,
yeah, but we heard in, actually, Hayes is going to start off with 2. He'll find Hiko and Desi, and we'll see if things slow down at all after that, or if CLG is just going to go on the manhunt. And they try. Rush going to stop 1, and look at this. Once again at a CEVO land, this spot having such a big impact. He's going to get a few. That puts Skadoodle in a 1-on-2. Can he go for this clutch to take map 1? Bomb is going down now. There it is. So 35 seconds on the clock. Nade to fly in. That was a big one. That exploded in the face of Cutler. And he might even know he did damage. He pulls out the 570. He's getting in those close quarters. Oh, forced to turn to the truck player and actually killed by the truck player.
Yeah, that was a beautiful push from Peter, and that's the kind of aggressiveness that really pays off. As we saw that Nate do so much damage to Cutler in sight, if Skadoodle managed to turn that into a 1v1, it could have been a 50-50 situation. Instead, we saw no one die, and that's because Peter took the risk of pushing off the truck and then checking if anyone was there, not knowing if that's where Skadoodle rotated from, though he did see the nade from highway. And once he had control of that, had the opportunity to win the round 100%.
All right, and you know, with a bit of buffer, they're 3 rounds ahead. Worst case, well, it might be a bit demoralizing for Elevate. They are going to go to OT. They're not out of this map, even if they lose the next 3. So they keep the pressure on. They've got those pistols with the armor. Famas up here on Roka. Op, though, still on Skadoodle, and that's the big thing. And working out quick into A. They've had success with this in the past. Roka over there at the forklift, not able to hold on, but Skadoodle's going to take the head off of Tarek. Boosting over the site, that's going to drop the bomb. Big nade as well, taking Hayes down to 57. Rush gets the reload, but can't get another shot off.
2v3 now, Peter and Hayes left alone. Hayes left to his devices, tries to get the spray down, but cannot do it. Peter left in a 1v2, some damage done to Skadoodle, who's going to try to find a frag and does get turned into a 1v1. All of a sudden, extremely winnable. Hiko right under him. Does Peter know it? He's looking for the frag. This is for the map, and he does keep them in the game.
Well, known for his op, but instead of that 1v2, he expects them to be approaching, pulls out the Tech 9, and honestly, he was strafing around the AD for a little while. There were some missed shots going Peter's way. Taking a scene from the Matrix.
Yeah, very good from him, though.
And we saw him on the cam there, then the last round saying, we're fine, we're fine. So he's fully expecting OT.
Yeah, I mean, they're known for comebacks. A 2-round deficit is really nothing, knowing what CLG is capable of. Now, the only difference is that Elevate looking like an extremely strong team after the first best-of-3 that we casted of them today. And I don't know if that's going to make a difference. The fact that they were able to play a map, you know, or play a couple maps to warm up. Also, you know, pretty much destroy them, give them confidence. But I'm sure CLG won't be thinking about that. And the fact that they do have an entire best-of-3 advantage. But they want to start with this map right here, and it's getting tight. You really don't want to give CLG that many options to beat you. And now with the mid control again, given up by Elevate, are on a save. And let's say they win this round, or looking to go against one more rifle to win the game.
Yeah, Rush, even with those kind of sketch jumping hitboxes, able to bring that one down very, very quick.
No problem.
So poor Rush.
Slightly aware, they're seeing a pistol, knowing that it's most likely an eco this round because they have that buffer. And Elevate obviously still looking to win it here. Don't want to throw this away for no reason. Skadoodle feels the presence, and he shoots, and he misses, and Cutler ends up capitalizing on that frag. FNS as well. Hiko and Desi left in a 2v5 situation, but he goes down now. Desi in a 1v5 is going to look to do some economic damage, but if we take a look at the economy of Counter Logic Gaming, it would actually benefit them possibly for a kill to happen, but none does, and within one.
And let's see, what are they going to be able to buy up on this final round? They're fine. They got those Molotovs, so they can use them to work A. We've seen them thrown a few times into the back of the B site to clear it out as they've been working over there. And it's all M4s for Elevate as they try to hold on. Limited, they've got smokes
and
2 flashes. That is it. They don't even have a single kit, so if this comes down to a plant, I mean, they're probably done.
Yeah,
well,
they are.
Into OT.
It's going to be OT if that's the case. And again, mid-control completely conceded with the focus over towards A. Not sure if that's going to pay off. We'll see CLG try to make reads and mid-round adjustments, and that's what they're really known for. But with that mid-control, they have the option to do many things. FNS making sure no one is peeking or pushing B for information, and a quick cheat over towards B means that that's not something that CLG is going to want to do, and trying to get in their heads here and see what they're thinking. But CLG are going to try to look for some more information before they make a decision, and hopefully it isn't too callous, but all creeped up by Vents.
Yeah, I'm saying they got the mid control. They are coming through Vents, and Tarek even finds the opener over there in A. He's going to be brought down by Rush. Molly's now into the B side here for CLG. Destiny will get one. Skadoodle another, and before he gets smoked off, is that a flash coming in? No, it looks like it was maybe another smoke, and now Hiko in the side with the spray down, and there it is. There's no OT on map 1. Elevate will take it 16 to 14.
That's where the CT setups paid off once again. We had the 3-stack over towards B. Going B was the trap. Obviously, Hiko thinking that that's where they wanted to focus on, and he was completely right. So he must be in their heads right now. That's a tough loss for CLG on that first map. They're going to have to win two in a row to make sure that it doesn't go to a second best of 3. And that's a great start from Elevate. What an exciting first map.
Yeah, and they win on CLG's pick, so they're going to go over to, I don't know if I can even say their comfort zone, because obviously, like, there's a lot of data that both teams have on each other on Dust 2, already seeing each other there for 42 rounds earlier, the first game of the CEVO Season 6 LAN, and then, honestly, I want CLG to win this next map, because I want to see Nuke!
Yes, dude, Nuke would be amazing. Oh, man, if we get the chance to see Nuke, I would cherish it. And I would cast my ass off, that's for sure.
Yeah, we haven't been doing that already, guys.
Yeah.
If we get to Nuke, you just wait. And actually, guys, we're going to go down to the analyst and see what's misled. And we also have a Dust 2, what they have to say.
Thanks, guys, for that. What an awesome first map that we got to see there. Going back to Cash, I mean, once again, we already talked about Vetoes. This is going to be the same map pool that we've seen these guys play already. And now we have role reversal here. Elevate is able to take that map finally, and they get it off CLG, but so close again. 16-14 victory for Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, it was close all the way through the entire first half. I mean, yeah, you saw CLG, you know, win that pistol, get up 3-0, but then you saw, like, throughout the game, even listening in on Hiko's comms, just some good reads there from that team. You know, they were able to expose when CLG was being overly aggressive in one area, like mid, and actually just hit A while it was vulnerable. And then on the flip side, when CLG was playing more passive towards the latter part of the first half, they were able to expose that fact, start executing on mid, get mid control, use that to work A splits up the highway, use that to get inside the vents and run checkers. And they just overall, I think they just had really good reads throughout the half. I mean, we could break down every single round. We don't unfortunately have that time, but still winning 9 rounds from T side, you could just tell they had some really, really good reads. Short of some crazy aggressive plays from CLG that panned out at times, in general, overall, it was really just good reads from Elevate on T side.
Yeah, and I mean, as you guys can see here, one thing I wanted to point out, when CLG was winning rounds, at least in first half, it was in blocks of 3. They won the pistol, they won the 2 anti-ecos, then they ended up dropping 5 rounds in a row, won another 3, and then after that, it was all went out coming from Elevate until we switched sides. They won 3 in a row again. It looked like they were going to do the same thing over and keep the game really close, and then Elevate just ended up going back and forth in round 5, 6, 7, and 8 right there in the second half, and then after that, they got the 3 that they needed, secured that match point, and just kind of locked it down from there.
Yeah, I mean, when we go over to the second half, CLG's able to tie it up 9-9. They win the pistol. They catch Hiko by himself at B, kind of exposing that to tie up the game. But then we just saw some weird stuff happen in the opening gun round. There was, you know, that really cool run boost that Rush and Roka do over at the A bomb site. Tarek just ran out of a smoke by himself. A lobby gave a free kill to Roka. That was really weird to watch, to be honest. It's kind of awkward. They get the 10-9 lead from there. Then we actually had Desi come up with the huge quad kill inside the vents and checkers room to extend that lead to 11-9. And I think we're going to be showing you that play actually a little bit later as one of our BenQ big plays there. You know, and it was back and forth. Now CLG won some ecos and such like that, but there was like this really big a-hole that took place as well, and Elevate finally just kind of started holding off those attacks CLG were throwing. They were good attacks, well-timed, well-disciplined, but they were just getting outshot in the sights.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You talked about some of those eco rounds that they took, and I mean, they were really aggressive, good takes on A, and there were eco rounds that just a few smokes, a few flashbangs. It wasn't a full sight take, wasn't full equipment, but they made it happen to keep that close. I mean, they got so close to getting it there, 16-14. I mean, that's a heartbreaker if you're CLG. Of course, you would have loved to start this off with a round win in your favor and then try and work on just shutting Elevate down right off the bat, not even having to worry about that second best of 3 series. But at this point, Elevate taking map number 1, going to Dust 2, that kind of favors Elevate here, especially with how well they were shooting.
Yeah, and let's actually take a look at that play. One of the BenQ best plays here. It is that play I was talking about with Desi playing inside the vents and then Checkers. We'll miss the first kill, but we're going to see his final 3 here. Just, you know, CLG not checking all their corners, and Desi made him pay for this throughout the half. He was catching people at mid because of this as well. Just playing really, really good CS here. So he'll swing out to get that 4th frag there to make it, like I said, to that 11-9 score line. Now, we also did see CLG show some life with Peter. He had a really big play in the A-bomb, so maybe you can talk us through that, as we're actually going to show you that one too in just a second when we get it queued up.
Yeah, that 1v3 clutch for Peter was absolutely awesome. We're going to see it here. We're starting towards the beginning of this round, or a little bit into it anyways. Hayes is still up, as you can see here. He gets himself a frag, brings it down to 1v3. Hayes is moving around. Peter ducks his way back into A. Hayes does some good damage there, but now it drops down. Peter right there, boom, pulls out the Rec 9, takes down Desi, steps back out into the Oppa. Skadoodle doesn't fall to that and makes an unbelievably smart play here. Gets up on the forklift onto the catwalk, just barely sees Hiko through the smoke, ends up getting the final Rec 9 frag there, and that was a huge 1v3 to keep CLG alive in that game.
It actually forced Elevate to eco the next round, which actually caused it to be a 15-14, so now you're put in that situation where you're either going to tie and go to OT, or you're going to have a win by the closest margin possible. And in that very, very last round, what you saw is CLG try to go on one of their, you know, tried and true B executions, but they got caught by a crazy bait setup. They threw a molly inside the site, they forced the player out of position who went to go play that tight double box. He had to step out and peek players checkers. He got a kill, but what happened was it was a double setup. They had no clue anyone else was inside the site. When they got that kill, they thought, okay, that is clear. And then at the very end, you saw that player step out and make 2 key frags to pretty much win the match at 16-14. So that's pretty much all she wrote there on Cash, and now Dust 2's up next.
Yeah, Dust 2 is going to be exciting going into this. And I mean, we're going into, in my opinion, this is going to be a map that should favor Elevate a little bit here. I mean, we get to see the op play come from Skadoodle. We get to see the clutch master, that's Hiko. And with Roka, Desi, and Rush all stepping up big time here, this is really going to favor them, in my opinion. And at this point, I was kind of leaning towards CLG to take the first map. And I figured if they weren't able to take map number 1, we were going to go to another best of 3. And your prediction right here, they take it in 2. I think it's going to happen, and we're going to go to that second and final best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still some hope for CLG. If they can sneak this Dust 2 map away, I do favor them on Nuke. So like I said, I think Elevate has to 2-0 this series to get that second best of 3. Yes, Elevate used to be a pretty decent Nuke team as well. Actually, that was Elevate's best map, but they're using 2 stands at this event, and that kind of eliminates that statistical information that you could try to use to point that fact out. So yeah, Dust 2's coming up next. We'll actually talk about that in a little bit, but first we're going to take a quick break.